All right, I'll call to order the Public Works and Utility Committee meeting on Wednesday, February 18th, 2026 at 5:05 PM at the Lisbon Village Hall. Roll call, please.
Chair Trustee Moonen,
Present and sharing.
Trustee Beal,
Here.
Committee Member Miller,
Here.
Committee Member Eberly,
Here.
Committee Member Plus,
Here.
Engineer Neitzel,
Here.
Administrator Green, DPW Director Willikowski,
Here.
and DC Treasurer Lisa Trumper to record the minutes.
I'll stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Citizens' comments. Anyone present would like to make a comment? All right. And Zoom check.
No one present.
No one present on Zoom. Last call. Item 4, approval of meeting minutes. In your packets, the 1/21/2026 meeting minutes. Any discussion?
I'll make motion to approve it.
Motion made by Mr. Everly, seconded by Ms. Beal. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Departmental reports. We'll start with Public Works, DPW Director Willikowski.
Evening, everyone. For highway staff, there were 10 winter weather events for the month of January. A lot of truck repairs going on. We did another EGR cooler for one of the internationals and doing in-house. Saved a good amount of money doing that. So that was a kudos to the guys in the shop. And then we also grinded the compost site early. Usually we do it in spring, and we found some time this winter to do it, so it gives us a little cushion in spring to kind of get brush pickup going maybe a little earlier and some other stuff done. So and that we came under budget significantly, roughly $10,000 under budget. So another kudos to the highway shop for that. So thank you. And then for the parks, they were part of the winter weather events also. And cool thing, Jeff and Mike created their own trail groomer that they do behind the UTV. So that was pretty cool to see. So yeah, that was good for them. And then ice skating rink, some good weather there with how cold it's been. So, and then for myself, worked in the shop with the guys, helped with grinding. Met with Dan and Mitch on Tamarack Road, discuss culverts and grading for when the time that comes to get paved. And then we had a little issue with one of our boxes on our trucks, the frame's kind of collapsing, so kind of working on just getting numbers and seeing options out there for what we can do to salvage that, since that truck's not due to be
I'm just looking at that picture, which I assume is 16. What caused that? I mean, is it just failure?
rust.
Rust?
So, yeah.
It just rot. Okay.
Yeah, that you see it kind of bowing out on the
Yeah.
sides. We welded that already, and now it's actually you can see it starting to crunch on the
Yeah.
frame now, and hard to see, but by the pins in the back where it actually rotates, it's actually collapsing back there. So it's one of those things. It's get through this winter, and we'll look at doing something.
Is it fixable without?
To fix it's not worth fixing, I would
Okay.
say. Nothing to salvage on it. So
Sorry for the interruption, but I
Yeah.
saw that. I'm going like, how did that get hit?
oh yeah, that's rust. Never stops. So yeah, that's it for department report.
How you doing for salt?
Good now. Should be good.
Okay.
No.
You come to my driveway and get something you want.
Same thing. Sweep that up.
Yeah. In my garage.
All right.
I want to thank you very much for watching the amounts of money that we spend when you're under budget, so
Yeah.
we really appreciate all of us.
No problem.
Any questions for Nick? All right, utility districts, Mr. Knightson.
Good afternoon. Reports in the packet. For the month of January, flows were up just a bit for both Janine and Plainview. Janine was up about 5 gallons per minute in the month of December. Plainview was up about 3 gallons per minute. Willow Springs, flows were up also there. Flows were up a little bit more, about 14 gallons per minute more. They're on 45 or 41 gallons per minute for the month of January. At Willow Springs, as I mentioned in your report, there's an electrical issue there with the flow meter. Something with the conduit that is serviced out of their storage building on their site. It took Sussex a little while to figure that out. So it runs from the building underneath their parking lot and then out to the flow meter. Next Electric found out that the line was busted somewhere underneath the parking lot. So they can't pull a new line through it with the conduit being busted. So, they did get a quote from Next Electric, we left the service, or if Willow Springs leaves the service in the building, they got a quote of about $12,875. Of course, there's some winter charges figured in there and patching the parking lot to concrete rather than asphalt, as there's no asphalt plants open. I question if we could wait, it would be cheaper. They're saying with the asphalt patch, it would be just as much as what the concrete is, but I would think Willow Springs would want it back in asphalt. Rather than having a concrete patch. So I'm just waiting on that, but the other thing we're looking at for that site is whether or not they could put a service out by the flow meter and get it out of that building. So. Dan has already forwarded this information to Willow Springs, so they're aware of the situation. And right now, we're just using monthly averages for the flows for Willow Springs.
So that flow meter's off, so.
Right now, I guess. Yeah. Any other questions with Plainview, Willow Springs?
Is there a timeline for
Well, we're just waiting, hoping to drag our feet until the frost charge, like wants to be the end of March.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to bring up with those three, I was talking with, Dustin over at the Village of Sussex. He did mention that the check valves and plug valves in the three lift stations we have there, Dunnicka, Fieldstone, and Good Hope. He said the plug valve and check valve are all getting in pretty bad condition. Some of them plug valves, I got to use hammers on them to get them to work. So he's getting quotes, and I'll have them at next month's meeting for replacing those at each of the stations.
How old are the present ones?
He's thinking they're originals.
Oh.
We gotta put those in the late
Okay.
80s.
So what's got you do have to repipe the station?
No, you should be able to.
Just replace it.
I mean, I work shape a haul in those stations, I just wondered.
How, from what I've seen, they're like late 80s, 88, 89.
I'm thinking we wanna look long and hard at those stations to see, instead of spending $20,000, what else do we need to do while we're at it?
That's something else I was gonna bring up. He brought up, he's also looking at that same contract we did last year with them to inspect those three stations. They had Warner do it. The cost is $1,750. So that's something for us to consider too. It's the same thing they did last week. Questions?
We're gonna end up with replacing those stations.
If we have done or do that, I think that we should ask them for like a service life estimate on those stations. As well.
And then Richmond School station had a overrun time of 86.3 hours. About 45 hours on pump one, 41 hours on pump two. What ended up happening at the end of the month, pump two, actually the station failed. And Sussex went out there, what happened was it blew a fuse in the control panel. They put a new fuse in, it was in the control panel. Next morning, we had the same issue again. So they went back out there. Dorner also went out there and found out that what the issue was, the pump two failed. It was causing a panel trip. They took pump two out of service, pump one took care of the station, pump down was handling everything. They stopped by Nick and picked up the spare pump. I got a hold of Bravazon, we just bought those pumps last summer, and they agreed that they're under warranty. Dorner ran the pump up to Bravazon because they had a service call up in Greenway anyways. So currently, they have pump number two, Bravazon does, they shipped it off to Barnesa, the pump manufacturer, and they're currently looking at, they're doing an inspection of the pump from the code report. So they'll make a determination whether or not they repair the pump and send it back, or we get a brand new pump. And I haven't heard that yet.
Do we have a
We
choice
have-
in it?
We have two pumps in the station, we just don't have a spare.
Mhm.
We have a choice, that's gonna be my question, is if they decide to repair it,
Mhm.
we bought a new pump last summer, so when do we get it back?
Exactly. Okay, thank you.
Questions on that?
We're still obviously on the hook for labor though.
Well, we're gonna get an invoice from Dorner to form and everything, you know. Yep. Then the well reading for the month for January is 49,400 gallons, prior month was 31,600. But again, it falls in line with what we've seen there. So. The last thing, Richmond School, I did hear from the ground superintendent, they are contracted with the expediters, to provide an internal sewer system. They were looking to have it done like the end of this month, beginning of February. I told them we wanted to wait till the ground thawed out. They're talking middle of March.
Not during spring break.
Well, that's what it would be. Right, but at the same time, I wonder if it would help you to shut that water up at one point to see if you have water coming through where it comes from. But I think we'll see that coming in March, so I don't. On that. Any questions, Richmond School? Fire station, straightforward for the month, pulled down a couple hundred gallons from the previous month. Casey's well, flows are up slightly, but again, everything falls in line with what we've seen historically. Any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Special projects, Mr. Green.
The village, planning commission met January, to go over their first area of 5 areas that they're, both is examining for, sewer expansion. And I want to ask this committee if they would be willing to do a joint meeting with the planning commission at the March meeting when we discuss area 2. I think it'd be good information for this committee and planning commission to observe. And with some of the experience that this committee has in sewer, it might be good to have you guys' voice available. Jane, I know you were at the meeting. It would have been nice if you could have been able to chip in, but since it wasn't a joint meeting, you just
Yeah,
had to
it
sit there and
wasn't sure
listen.
if there was
Right?
even, didn't
There
seem to be a
wasn't. You
format
wouldn't be
for
able
it
to.
anyway.
There wasn't, and so I'd like to have that form next time so that you guys can be there and give your 2 cents as well. So I'll coordinate that with Matt and make sure that we have it agendized so that it'll be a joint meeting. We can have an open discussion at least on that. And then I'd like to circle back to area 1 because it's very crucial, and so I don't know if how we ended it at Plan Commission is how we want to end it at Plan Commission. So both plans, I'm circling back to area 1 after we start looking at area 2. And both is planning and giving kind of an education on sewer and how it works. There's confusion on who pays for it, the connection fees, is it on everyone's tax bill, that sort of thing. So they can give some education as to the financing part of it too. And we're also reaching out to Ellers to kind of provide some of that information in the background too. So if you could make it, that would be great. It would be the 4th Wednesday of the month at 6:30.
Would that be in addition to our regular meeting?
Yeah, so we'd have to have a regular plan commission meeting.
No, I'm talking about a regular public works meeting.
I was thinking about having the public works meeting prior to the plan commission meeting. I don't know how that would work because we would have a public works meeting, then you guys would kind of have to sit and listen to the plan commission on the regular plan
Right.
commission items, and then we'd have to do another meeting that would be a joint meeting. So I guess I could leave that up to you guys if you want to do that.
Well, our regular one's on the 18th.
The other issue is most people that are used to this meeting being here. So if we move it over there, it might be confusing for some people that might be. Want to be
We had a
the
joint meeting before.
Yeah.
We've done it.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Life goes on.
you guys are fine with it?
What?
Fine with it.
Well, it'd be the 25th. Be the second and the fourth Wednesday. Our regular scheduled meetings, obviously, the week before on the 18th, so my only question is, I guess we could wait and see what's
What,
on the agenda for the 18th, whether or not we need to have two that month.
since you sit on both, can you clarify hour?
Oh, 6 o'clock.
No,
Hour as an old.
Oh,
planning commission or public utility?
the public utility meetings on the 18th.
Yes.
Whether or not we have one then, obviously this is up to you, one on the 18th and then a second one on the 25th. I would say we need to look at,
I would probably be in favor of just holding
One.
on, even if we have to split the 3 different meetings.
I don't care, it's,
I'd be fine with.
I don't know what to do with all that money, so.
Yeah,
We can see what's, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have 100 things to do.
I'll have staff poll everyone and see if the 25th at like 5:30 would work.
Give us an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thinking for that after the meeting. All right, any other special projects?
No, I guess I can just give an update. We had another grinder pump that went out. So that one was pulled, they used the spare to replace, and then the charge for the repairs was what, like $20?
250 something.
40 something. So we have that one being worked on and we'll have it get our spare.
It's
But
done.
right now,
Or it's done.
It's
we
done.
don't have any spares sitting around. right
Oh, we
now.
got it now.
He got it, they already got
Oh.
it.
275 it was repaired.
And then,
What was the failure?
A stator valve and some sort of blue grommet.
Then on E1.
Just a quick question, if I can bring you into this point. When the resident calls in about the grinder pump issue, they got a problem, do they go out right away to look at, or they wait till the next day?
Changes kind of. This one, they waited to the following morning, like, cause I called it 5:30 and then since the alarm was on, I talked to Dan a little bit and he felt it was fine that they could hold off the night till wait till the morning, so we don't get charged a late night service call, so depends on the time of day.
According to the code, when I read it, it said for 24 hours, that nothing generally has to be done for 24 hours. So I know in the past, like, the Bellic would go out there at midnight when someone called.
Yeah.
which
I mean, it's
when-
coming up the drain, I probably want to be out there right away
Yeah.
too,
Mhm.
but if it's not coming up the drain, she's fine.
Anyway.
All right. 6A, unfinished business, discussion necessary action regarding options to resolve ongoing I&I issues. Mr. Green,
I don't have an update on this.
anyone else have anything? Hearing none, we'll move to 6B, discussion necessary action regarding status update on lift stations. Is that Don or is?
Don't really have any on this either, unless you have anything.
No, just basically the update I already gave you my report, and then there's question.
I think that would be good though to get some type of a report on the longevity, because we're working on our audit now, and it'd be nice to give them an actual depreciation schedule for the.
Yeah,
house, too.
I'll make sure that's part of their,
Okay.
inspection.
Okay.
All right, 6C, discussion necessary action regarding sewer service area amendment. Mr. Green?
I kind of already gave an update, and that's, you know, the next meeting is where we're gonna get into really the meat and potatoes, but again, if you want to watch the plan commission meeting from January, it would be insightful for those who weren't there, so. Yeah, otherwise I don't really have anything.
And committee on that. 6D, discussion necessary action regarding possible future updates to sewer service code. Anything else there, or you want?
This is still, in my opinion, tied to the sewer service area amendment. I really wanna see where that goes so that we can start, you know, taking some of folks' advice as part of their review was to also look at our code in regards to how we look at connection fees, hookup fees, that sort of thing. So I mean, we can certainly start diving into this if we want to, but like I said, if we're gonna have to dive into it again in 6 months, we can do that, but
And you said the code is gonna be printed or updated, we have to get it online in what, how long? 6 months, 8 months, you mentioned?
as far as when they're gonna start reviewing it, I would imagine in about 6 months, they'll start really looking into it,
They-
depending on how the conversations go. If we get to a point where we run into a roadblock with density issues and there's no point in doing a sewer service amendment, well, then we should then take this to the committee and start reviewing it ourselves. But you guys can discuss when, so.
I think it's premature to do anything at this point.
Any other members have discussion for this agenda item?
I noticed that the paperwork, it was in 2020. They talked, the board talked about the grinder pump issue and stuff, and it's just been kind of sitting there. So I think we really need to talk about that as it on the agenda, to kind of talk about options and talk about how everyone feels on the board. So I'd like to see that, please. Because I'm a little.
Talking about how people on the village board feel about it.
No, this board, because we have to do something here before we go to the board, what we recommend.
I don't think at this point in time. I just think it's too premature to do it.
Well, I guess at 2020, I know Kathy, I was kind of pushed to the side, because we had talked about the original district board talked about changing the code. And she didn't want to do that until everything was changed. So it's been kind of sitting out there for 6 years now. And it's also costing the area, the district money if it was going to be changed. So I think that things have to be changed, and I talked about, that's all. I'm just concerned about that because that date is hanging out there, which does us no good at this point. I just think.
Well, we did make the change in 2020 though, putting the sunset on it. So that changed a lot for new systems.
You know, the new systems is the only thing that was changed. If someone builds, they pay for their own grinder pump.
If necessary.
But I don't believe it was changed we still pay for everyone's grinder pump repairs and replacements. That was never activated.
What is the total right now? 27 hanging out there?
32? 32.
Pretty sure.
And when I look back, you know, the schedule that I've got, I know last month, I don't know if we can talk about this now.
Well, I mean, as long as it relates to sewer service code.
It was through September 21st of 22, the cost to the district was $154,864.99. Now that's a lot of money for the area to pay. And then plus we're checking into what's gone on since then. I think when we sent the letter out warning people, suggesting that people with grinder pumps watch their grinder pumps and take care of them, you know, it seems to be less than what this one was, but we have so many here. Almost everybody has been replaced at different times. Some of them are into the second ones, which kind of questions how it's run. But, and I'm also concerned when I looked on the code, it says it is considered private property of the property owner, the grinder pump. why in heck are we paying for repairs on a private property thing? Why? It was when I read the code. It's considered private property. The grinder pump.
Cause it's the way that's stated in the code that's in force right now.
Okay.
Hasn't changed.
I know, why are citizens paying for grinder pumps on private, that's like, if your well went or your furnace went, it's private property, do you want us to help you pay for it?
It's what the code says right now, so it's going to be, until it's changed,
Private
it doesn't
property.
change.
I just brought this up, because
I know, I agree with you wholeheartedly, because I don't wanna pay for somebody's grinder pump. Well, until the code is changed,
I've been trying for 6 years, and it's been on stall.
well, you're on the village board, so you know what the answer to that question is.
Thank you for your comments.
Do you have a change that you want to put in this one, or is there something we should expect forthcoming?
I guess if I have to go to the town board, the village board, I have to go to them next to talk about the grinder pumps. Is that my direction, Dan?
If you want to discuss it at the village board level, then yeah, I would,
Is that the appropriate place to talk about it, or here?
well, we're talking about the sewer code, so you could think about it.
We need to do something. Do we go back and say, okay, there's maybe, well, we're confused. Is it 2 or 9 residents that have not replaced their grinder pumps? I thank them for taking good care of it. Do we go back and say if they ever have a problem, we pay for it because they missed, they never had it replaced like these other homes have had it replaced? And I could go along with that, absolutely. Or we need to have a sunset clause. We need to stop something here. Because 34 years into service now, and if anybody ever wants to talk to me, because I was involved in 92, if anybody wants to talk to me privately about how this organization, the district started, I will completely talk with you. But now's not the time, I don't think, unless someone wants to talk about it. So it was not brought up honestly. That's all I'll say. At this point, people online are paying for grinder pumps. I don't think it's fair after 34 years. There are 5 municipalities in the area when I did some checks that, let me see here, that they don't pay for grinder pump. It's a residential thing. It's a residential. No, I'm missing it. And I think I gave it to you, Dan, those 3. It's like Brookfield doesn't have any, but it's 5 areas that do not pay for. Pardon me?
I remember Summit being one of them.
Yes, I'm at Waterford, all those, there's 5 of them that the residents pay for their own grinder pumps. I cannot find anybody.
That's not the case in Summit. Summit, those grinder pumps cost those people 0. I know, I did them, okay? They were given those grinder pumps through a Clean Water Fund grant, okay?
A grant?
Well, yes,
Okay, a grant.
so you gotta be careful about,
When I talked to someone from Summit, they had said that Summit does not pay for grinder pumps. If it's a grant, fine, wonderful, but Summit does not pay for the grinder pumps. I just don't think we should continue paying for grinder pumps.
that's fine, but this committee, if I recall correctly, sent a suggested ordinance change to the village board with a sunset on the grinder pumps and how to deal with grinder pumps. The village board came up with something else, that's where it went. So,
Okay, I'll continue on the village board then. And I feel like I'm the only one.
No, because I'm recalling the same thing that
Mhm.
Joe
Right.
did, because I thought we
It
had
doesn't-
put our recommendation together.
Okay.
Do
Okay,
the
I
village board.
respect that, I understand
I
that.
don't know if it was, but then I find out that it wasn't ever actually adopted, so.
right, it
Um,
went nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's an issue that should be brought up. Because a lot of people I know don't want to pay for the grinder pumps. You don't want to pay for them. I don't want to pay for them. It's private property.
Well,
Why am I going to pay for them?
I'm just not sure the timing on it, so if we're working with both to try to
Exactly.
redo it, if that's the time when both.
I would say if you wanna make a change to the code, make it when we make all the other code
Exactly,
adoptions, send
that's
it
what
to
we
the
talked
board
about.
and
And it's going to be a long time before we get to that point, because there's a significant amount of things that had to be changed and added to the existing sewer code as a result of the sewer service area expansion. And we're not anywhere near doing that. And we should only do it all at one time, in my opinion, so. Do whatever you want, I mean, you obviously are free to talk to the village board, but I don't know what they're gonna act on. They already told us no once, so.
What are you trying to say something?
No,
I would say bring it back to the board when you have a full new sewer code ready. Let the village board adopt the changes or change it as they did last.
You're talking 6 to 8 months. In reality, when is the new code actually going to be out?
I
there?
don't know.
Can can you estimate,
I
guesstimate?
can, but I might be wrong, so.
So
it's no
just
point.
estimate,
6 to 8 months.
6 to 8 months. Cause you were talking wrong.
Maybe longer.
I don't think it's gonna be before the village board before a year from now.
Mm.
Close.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crapshoot, but there's a lot of work that's gotta get done before we get to square one on the sewer code.
I would agree. I mean, we're going through the first step in the first phase of the area that we're discussing for sewer service. We have 5 of those. And we've got a 2-month gap between the first one and the second one, and we have to revisit the first one. So I don't know, just the planning phase of looking over the sewer service areas, how long that part's gonna take alone.
So what if we put it out, if you wanted to take it directly to the board and see what the board wants you to do, then we'll go with whatever the board says. If they want you to jump in and change the code for this area now, I think we'd have to take it, maybe that's the way to get something moving there. If the board wants to take it on now, do it now, otherwise wait until the big.
Things change all the time, Jane, and thank you for saying that. Thank you. I will do that.
all right, hearing no other discussion on that. 6E, discussion necessary action regarding sewer hookup options for LSBT 0193.017. We heard this last time and there are updates to this.
Yeah, no.
So as requested last month, we took a look at the sewer grades out in that area to see if we relayed some of that gravity sewer, could we pick up enough grade to serve some of those homes back in Gulfview, Bramble, and anything else in that area? As it turns out, the first page on the PDF that was in your packet, the sewer all flows the intersection of Plainview Parkway and Brandon Drive. So that's kind of the low point right there. From there, it goes to the interceptor. There's no real grade to be picked up at the intersection of Bramble and Carberry. But as you go down Carberry towards the intersection with Gulfview Lane, there's a little bit of grade we could pick up by relaying 2 sections of sewer. But it's not enough to pick up everything back in there by Gulfview Lane and Bramble Drive. Might be able to pick up 2 or 3 lots. By relaying a pretty good amount of sewer. That whole area was shown to be served at one point in time in the original plans, but then it was deleted from the contract. And I think what it was, they found out on Bramble Drive, they couldn't serve those houses, it was too far down, that sewer would basically run out of grade. And then, homes on Gulfview Lane, the scenario we came up with, they basically had in that plan set to serve those with grinder pumps. And that was struck from the contract with that. So. Long story short, yeah, we could relay some sewer, maybe pick up a couple more lots, but not enough to make it what we feel is cost effective or worthwhile to do. There is in that packet that we put in there, there is a copy of the old plan sheets. Especially was there in the Carberry, And then the second sheet would be, the section is out from the lane. It would look like this. Cool. I mean, that whole area at the corner is in reflection of all Stevens Ramble, it is all kind of down in the hole.
Did we have something, maybe you gave it to us last month, Don, but this whole area of, I'm trying to figure out the streets here, there's Bramwell and Dawson, but on this one drawing here, they don't have the street names on there, but my question is, the service, the homes, the lots in this area, the block with Bramble on the north and Gulfview on the east, and whatever this north-south street is here. Carberry.
Yep.
Did you give us something that shows how many of these are served already?
Well, I mean, all of them are served with the exception of those couple of lots up in the Gulf and the Redwood.
They are.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. What I'm getting at is, if you look at these two blocks, we'll call them, here and here, if everything is served except for a few lots on the corner of Gulfview and Bramble. I've got a couple of questions. Number one, are they served properly? In other words, in my opinion, we shouldn't have shared grinder pumps. Number two is we shouldn't have force mains out in the public right of way running in ditches. What would it take to clean up this mess on these two blocks is the bottom line.
$264,000.
But is that cover that? Does that take care of cleaning up the messes we already had with joint grinder pumps and stuff? That's what I'm getting at.
I think you'd have to go through and look to see who's got joint grinders in that area.
I mean, to
And
me, we need to have this information in order. I'd like to see these two blocks cleaned up, and this is the start of straightening out the messes that we have out there and do it the right way instead of doing this.
There's, so on Plainview Parkway and Carberry, there's no grinder pumps in that area. I got the whole list of grinders with me.
Everybody else is served by gravity out to the sewer in the street. And there's no shared laterals or any of that.
Bramble.
Well, there's-
Gulfview.
The list I have of grinder pumps, there's not one on any of those streets.
There's two on Gulfview.
On Gulfview.
Yeah.
But not where Joe's talking down on Carberry, and Plainview Parkway, which is the next street to the west of that. There's none down on home.
But there is a shared grinder, Mark? This is
Anyway.
where-
There's up on Gulf.
The messes.
Yep.
I just wanna, what I'm trying to do is clean up two blocks at a time.
Right, right.
So the question is, what's it take to clean up this mess on these two blocks? And then this is the start of straightening out a whole mess of problems that were created out there. So I didn't go through this and your cost estimate's here to see, but I just wanna know what
Well,
it
the
takes.
cost estimates that in there, that's the same thing we gave you the last time. Now,
Right.
He put that right back in the report, but the rest of those lots along Plainview Parkway and Carberry, they're all served by gravity. I can go through and double check all that, but they're, either one of those streets, there's nothing listed in here as a grinder.
I mean, if we've got joint grinder pumps, we need a new grinder pump and a new force main. If we have shared force mains, we need those taken care of and connected where they're supposed to be connected. I mean, you see what I'm getting at.
Mhm.
I think we need to have a more in-depth look at these two blocks to see what has to be done. And then the cost to clean it up. Because we don't need to do this. I don't want to use the term, but I'm not going to. I want to clean up this mess right now and do it right one time. And pay for the sins of our predecessors.
So I was out, is there no way of lowering or raising those mains in order to extend them further on Gulfview or Bramble?
On Carberry, we could take out 2 sections of sewer. And relay it to the intersection of Carberry and Gulfview.
Okay.
And then we can delay going up Gulfview, but we're gonna buy about 6 feet. And at that point, that thing's going downhill.
Right, we're gonna have to have graders anyway, so we're gonna, yeah.
A lot of do gravity and the rest is damage.
You're not talking about joint grinder pump, sharing grinder pumps or individual.
No, there are some out there, apparently, from what I
I don't know
recall.
of any. I don't know of any joint,
I thought they were on their own individual main, but their own individual force main.
Are we sure of that?
Well, we just had one that had a leakage in their force main that they had to pay for repair, and that one was a separate main that went to his house.
I just wanna make sure if we, going forward here, we know exactly what's out there and what we have to fix.
I guess my opinion is to answer that question, you could go back to develop and this is gonna tell us if there's ones on sharing.
I,
Either that or door to door, I mean.
my father always used to tell me, he'd hold up a dollar bill, and he'd look at the back of the dollar bill, it says, "In God we trust." In God I trust, I don't trust anybody else. I'm sorry, I trust you, Don, if you go out there and tell me what to wear, and you give us an as-built to what the heck is out there, then we know what the next step is. Right now, relying on this plumber and this guy and what this is and what people do or do not tell us is not gonna get us, because this is gonna cost a significant amount of money, and I wanna do it right one time. And this should set the procedure for going forward, because this isn't the only place we've got these problems.
So can I clarify what you're
Yeah.
saying though? Right now, he's suggesting in 2 areas that there would be a joint grinder pump. So you're saying you don't want a lift station for
That's right,
those 2 areas?
right,
Even though the cost is less?
yes. I wanna go back to what should have been put in. Now, we can't do much with these gravity sewers because we have to go back probably half a mile or some darn thing. We can't do that. But I wanna make sure that we do this. I don't want joint anything. Because then this question comes up is when it poops out, it's this. It's
So what
his,
if you were to-
he did it, and then what it's in there.
What if you were to have a common force main? That each of those homes would then grind it into a common force main?
I'd rather have,
Because we're not gonna get at gravity, that's gonna be.
I know, gravity is, you've already stated that a couple of times. We've gotta get somehow or another, I wanna, as an example, Jake, let's just pick 3 lots, these 3 lots. They have a grinder pump, they need grinder pump, they get a grinder pump, they run a force main out to the street. They hook into the gravity sewer, or if there isn't gravity sewer there, they go out to a joint publicly owned force main in the street that goes to the gravity sewer. I don't want force mains from individual lots being owned by anybody but the lot owner the way it should be. The lateral is owned to the street. So without
Right,
that, we don't have enough information now. I'm not faulting you, Don, we just haven't got to that point yet. I think, in my opinion, we're to the point where we need to do a more detailed analysis and for want of a better term, a preliminary design about how we straighten this out.
Well, we may have to amend the code too, because I think as it's written, anything that comes into the main is the responsibility of.
I'm sorry, is what?
Anything that comes into a sewer main is the responsibility of the homeowner, so the
Right.
main is ours, so if you're talking about I guess if it's a force main, I guess.
The force main is ours,
Same thing.
right?
Okay,
The property owner would own their lateral, whether it's a force main or gravity, to either a force main or a gravity sewer. That's theirs. To that point of connection, including the connection. The rest is public.
Could,
I'm sorry. go ahead.
could we use lot 10 as the lowest point on a gravity system and go out to town lines and then go south on town line to Fieldstone?
I mean, we could look to see if that would be feasible, but you're looking to serve.
Well, but if it was,
Lots,
but if it was gravity, we could add Bramble and Gulfview go out the east side of lot 10 to Town Line, go gravity down to Fieldstone. And it would probably be shorter pipe-wise than relaying Carberry. And then putting pipe in front of Gulfview and Bramble. And then you're only using gravity.
And that's something we could definitely look at if that's something you guys want to consider.
I think you should look at options and come back with a preliminary design, a rough preliminary design that you're confident in, and the best way to service these two blocks.
Because right now, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There'd be 13, there's 13 parcels, 12 developed that have no service in that corner.
Yeah, the majority of them are on Brandon.
The only way to get to them is to relay that in front of those 12, plus go back further.
And there's nothing to gain by.
And there's nothing to be gained by relaying Carberry if you're just replacing
I mean,
functional pipe.
all these lots are served by municipal sewer, correct? One way or the other?
No.
Okay, well, we need to pick up all the lots.
That's what he.
That's what I'm
Is that
saying.
what you're saying?
So-
Yeah, I'm not familiar with who's served and not served. That's the question.
Because if you look on the utility map, there's 12 parcels that are on private systems in that 90-degree corner of Bramble and Gulfview.
How about the one on the corner, Mark, the one? Oh, here, is that on sewer?
No,
Okay.
Yeah, I can.
But then-
that for next month.
well, and then that would eliminate 2 grinders, which are 10, is 10's the open lot, 11 and 12, I think it is, are the ones that are on current grinders.
So Mark, you're talking about an easement between one of the lots, like on the corner of Bramble and Gulfview, run a main, gravity main downtown line
Yeah,
to
so,
Wooded Hills Drive?
I mean, hypothetically, run a main down the south property line of either north or south property line of Ellis, but it's the parcel listed here, the one in question. And discharge out to Town Line and then run a gravity down Town Line connecting back to Fieldstone.
There's no sewer in Town Line?
No, the closest connection is manhole 139, which is Wooded Hills and Fieldstone.
We just need to look at, I think, Don, you understand what we're looking at. What's the best way to service it? We need to connect every lot here with municipal sewer. And then we got a common ground to discuss going forward, how we're gonna do this. That way we'll end up at the end of the day, everybody will have municipal sewer. It'll be taken care of, and it'll be done as close to being right as we can do.
I have to tell you, there's a lot of little pockets out there that don't have
Well,
sewer.
this is the first.
Oh, I know that, I'm just saying,
I know.
Yeah.
We pay for what was done before.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll come up with options. The first option will be is what they had in the original plan set, which is kind of what we came up with back in 21. And then, yeah, I'll look at the option of going down Town Line. If it works, then come up with a cost, we can see what that is.
Or that shared force main too. So, I like that idea too.
You could put in a force main to all those lots. Of a single.
That they can key into.
Individual grinders.
We just don't want any shared anything.
Me neither.
That, I mean.
Yep.
That's my opinion, so whatever anybody else wants.
All right. Hearing nothing else, anyone else?
You want us looking at all the existing grinders, we to make something shared as part of this? Do you not want to do that?
I think we need to know what the heck is out there.
Look, he's got the list though.
Don, I might be able to help you with that. I've got some documents from like the mid-90s that when this stuff was kind of going in, but I think I have some stuff to check your other pumps in those four settings. So,
Alright. Close the 67A, discussion necessary action regarding draft policy for repair versus replacement of failed grinder pumps. We put a policy together and, it's in your packet. Do you need to read it or you just want to give the highlights?
it's basically what we talked about before as far as the cost benefit analysis between buying a new grinder pump when I go out or repairing them. This one basically says if the estimated repairs are gonna be 50% or more of the cost of a grinder pump, we'll buy a new one. If it's less than 50%, then we will repair it, which is, I think, what we talked about. It's a short version.
And then it won't have to come back to committee.
And then we won't take a different fee.
And we'll
He'll just,
eventually incorporate this into the sewer code.
Yeah, we can,
Yeah,
We can look
at some point in time.
however that sewer code amendment
Yeah.
goes, sure.
I think it looks fine.
the only thing I thought of was policy number 8. Deviation from the procedure requires prior written approval by the Public Works Chair or Village President. Only thing I thought is we both sit on 2 different committee levels, so it would take a month to have any written.
I would recommend just making it the PW&U chair, because that's the
Yeah.
committee, so.
I would suspect that when we got to the sewer code, whatever the heck it is, that last item number 8 be strong.
I agree. I think this policy will go away.
Yeah, I just think that's a bad idea, but for now,
Why don't
it's
you
better
just do it
when
now?
huh?
Why don't you just do it now?
We're go-
I don't
That-
think it's gonna come up.
Yeah, I don't either. At least it's still, I mean, the PWC chair by definition is a board member, so I think. that's
Right.
fine. Instead of having to have 2 board members. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the policy determining whether to repair or replace field grinder pumps with the striking of or village president from number 8 under 3 of the policy.
A second one.
Made by myself, seconded by Ms. Millen. Any discussion?
Yes, I just think, I understand the need for this, absolutely. But I just think sometimes it's putting the cart before the horse. Because I would certainly like to have the grinder pump issue fully, so there's no question that before this went into place. That's all.
We
And
need something in the year between now and when that's gonna happen.
I can understand
Yeah.
it, but I'm just saying,
Well, yeah,
any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-1. 8 items to be placed on the future. If we can carry over 6A through D.
you said A through E?
D, unless I'll leave it up to actually, no, leave 6A through E because Don, you should grab that in the next month.
Yep.
Any other items?
Move for adjournment.
I'll call for adjournment. Motion made by Mr. Everly, seconded by
Second.
Jane. Any discussion? All in favor?
mm,
Aye.
And we did it.
Opposed?
4 minutes to spare.
Motion carries to adjourn 5-0. Meeting's adjourned at 5:58 PM.